a video confession.
When the time came, I did it. I had to.
In a separate written document, he includes 29 photos he apparently took of himself. He looks like a normal, smiling college student in only the first 2. In the rest, he presents the stern face and strikes the pose that was very likely what his victims saw later on Monday. In 11 of the pictures, he aims handguns at the camera, likely the very ones he bought in the past 2 months. In his 1,800-word diatribe, he expresses rage, resentment, and a desire to get even, with exactly whom he never says.
You had 100 billion chances and ways to have avoided today, but you decided to spill my blood. You forced me into a corner and gave me only one option. The decision was yours. Now you have blood on your hands that will never wash off.
Much of it is incoherent, laced with profanity. He rails against hedonism and Christianity.
You just loved crucifying me. You loved inducing cancer in my head, terrorizing my heart, and raping my soul all this time.
Though he tried to cover his tracks by filing down the serial numbers on his guns, he obviously wanted the world to know who was responsible for the worst mass shooting in America. He began working on these materials at least 6 days beforehand.
I didn't have to do this. I could have left. I could have fled. But no, I will no longer run. If not for me, for my children, for my brothers and sisters that you I did it for them.
You sadistic snobs, I may be nothing but a piece of You have vandalized my heart, raped my soul, and torched my conscience. You thought it was one pathetic void life you were extinguishing. Thanks to you, I die, like Jesus Christ, to inspire generations of the weak and the defenseless people. Do you know what it feels like to be spit on your face and have trash shoved down your throat? Do you know what it feels like to dig your own grave? Do you know what it feels like to have your throat slashed from ear to ear? Do you know what it feels like to be torched alive? Do you know what it feels like to be humiliated and be impaled upon on a cross and left to bleed to death for your amusement? You have never felt a single ounce of pain your whole life, yet you want to inject as much misery in our lives as you can, just because you can. You had everything you wanted. Your Mercedes wasn't enough, you brats. Your golden necklaces weren't enough, you snobs. Your trust fund wasn't enough. Your vodka and cognac weren't enough. All your debaucheries weren't enough. Those weren't enough to fulfill your hedonistic needs. You had everything. You had 100 billion chances and ways to have avoided today, but you decided to spill my blood. You forced me into a corner and gave me only one option. The decision was yours. Now you have blood on your hands that will never wash off. Weren't enough. All your debaucheries weren't enough. Those weren't enough to fulfill your hedonistic needs. You had everything.
You hear the strong anti-rich people theme. This is the manifesto, by the way, and it goes on. There's a close-up of a knife. There are pictures of hollow point bullets, an almost artistic photo of them. Goes on like this for pages. I have yellow posted on here because he mentions martyrs like Eric and Dylan, the names of the Columbine gunmen. And then for pages and pages, it is just simply dense text.
Fingers exposed in the glove with the black shirt, the black band, the headband.
I'll tell you, Chris, it gives you chills lined up on a table or something like that. It's absolutely horrifying and chilling.
What's impressive to us here after interviewing his suite mate, who said he never spoke a word, really, in the months since August when they were all put together in the same suite.
Holding it in my hand, this is, it arrived, and again, on Nightly News, I called it a multimedia manifesto because I can't think of anything that more accurately describes it. Page upon page of photos, mostly of him, the kind of narcissism that the profilers say is so prevalent in this mindset. A solo picture of a knife. There are several of those in here. One of the brand knife is Smith & Wesson. There's the barrel of a gun. And this was the page I just read on Nightly News. Generation after generation, we martyrs like Eric and Dylan. Because there's so many profanities. I'm just going to leave it up for that long. No 2 or 3 sentences really make sense when viewed together.
He was really quiet every time, so most of the times I just let him alone, let him do his work. But I did share a common area and a bathroom with him with 6 other people. All the time, I just thought he was really shy and reserved. I left him alone after the first week. I tried talking to him when we first moved in August. But most times when I said hi, he just looked down or looked away or pretend that he didn't hear me. So after the first few weeks, I just let him be. That he wouldn't talk to any of us, or he never had any visitors, or I never saw him talking on the phone, even with his parents, or even talking on an IM with somebody on his computer. I thought it was pretty weird, but in our dorm room, we're all upperclassmen. There's very few freshmen. So at first, I just assumed he had another group of friends that he hung out with, and I never saw them. Pretty much, he got up pretty early in the morning, and late at night, I used to either see him typing on his computer or watching TV in the lounge.